Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we welcome you on this cold December night to the Let's Be Merry Spectacular. I'm your host, Omar Aguilar, and tonight I want to introduce to you our special guest. Also with us tonight,
Monica.
and last but not least, your fan favorite.
It's your boy Alex. Hey, how you doing?
And tonight we welcome you to
The Creative Minds Podcast. Yes,
All right.
sir.
All right, guys. So we're here tonight. We are
First take.
excited. It is the last podcast episode of the year. 2024 is coming like
Around the corner, bro.
It's wild.
sooner than later for sure. We are starting to move into the year of 2024, or like my boy Alex was saying earlier, we're going from MJ to Mamba mentality. How are we feeling about that?
I'm ready. I'm ready to tackle it. You know what I'm saying? I approached that same thing whenever I turned 24 this year. That's a blessing of being born around 2000. You kind of already know your age just due to the year. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, I'm ready to tackle it, bro. It's literally what I sent you in that text. I remember on my birthday, I was like, "Let's get it. Let's tackle this year. Mama mentality. Let's go." And that's literally what we've been doing since then.
Yeah.
I feel like so it's just carrying on the same energy into the new year.
For sure.
I like that.
Yeah, and you know the crazy part about it was we've been talking a lot about how we were gonna wrap up this episode, right? We were like, what we're gonna do on this podcast episode, and what special guests we're gonna bring, and we're like, you know what? I think we should just keep it like within the team. Everybody was kind of agreed to do that, and we also wanted to spend this time to almost use it like a recap, you know, and we all kind of wanted to discuss a little bit about some of the things that we got to do as a team with the Creative Minds, and just kind of recap and regroup everything that we're going and looking forward into for next year. So I kind of just want to start off with the list. Where January, we started off in New York, right?
Ooh, yeah. New
I
York
just
was
kept
sick.
hearing that song,
Yeah.
in New York.
I had that on my AirPods at least a good hour.
The entire time
That
you're out
one,
there.
Frank Sinatra, New
Yeah.
York.
Oh,
New
yes.
York.
Yeah.
You have to, bro. I mean, especially if you're a tourist, but if you're from there, it's kind of cringy, I guess.
Yeah, so
Hey, I'm a tourist. Leave me alone, you know?
that to me was a real fun way to start the year. I think the year prior to that, we had just knocked out recording Solo 2. And I remember I was like, man, where are we going to shoot this video at? And Alex is like, bro, just wait till the song is finalized, wait till it's mastered, send it my way, let me listen to it, and I'll just find the visual. He literally, like, as soon as I sent it to him, I remember you like saw it, and you text me, bro, we gotta go to New York.
Yeah, New York.
Like,
Yeah,
this is
ASAP.
straight
Yeah.
New York vibes.
Yeah.
It's gonna fit the vibe that we're gonna go. I see subways.
And it totally did.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really did.
I love the way
A
that,
good
that
call.
video came out, bro.
Yeah.
That was sick.
Yeah.
Especially since it was run and gun. I love that we do run and gun music videos.
Right, for sure. I think it makes it more fun for all of us to like. I think we kind of just trust each other. Everybody kind of has grown into that. Like, we know that person knows their role and responsibility, and so instead of questioning or like overthinking it so much, we've kind of just like developed a like, hey, we're trusting this person's instinct. This is their strength, and since it's my weakness, I don't even want to question it. I'll just move forward.
Bro, it's like Kenny Beats says, bro. He has a sign in his studio. It says, don't overthink shit.
Right. It's
That's simple, bro.
Right.
Don't overthink it.
Right,
You know?
for real. Yeah, and then so like moving into the following month, right? We started working with Jam Circle, right? Alex, you want to talk to us about that?
Oh, yeah, Jam Circle, bro. So this was actually my first introduction into what's called Flatland. I don't know what the heck it was at first, bro. But I was given a rough idea of it being like BMX on steroids, bro. I was like, what? What do you mean? And then I remember doing like the promo video with Omari, and bro, it was just like the littlest space possible. And this dude was doing the craziest tricks on a bike. I was like, bro, this is wild. So for that day, I mean, that whole event, we were pretty much capturing stuff for a documentary. And yeah, just recording people coming in from all over the world, from Brazil, from Argentina, from overseas, as far as like the Netherlands and stuff like that. People were coming in from Canada. It was something very unique to see because you see a lot of people that are in this very, very niche sport, and you see that camaraderie because there's not a lot of people in the sport. And it was cool capturing that and seeing, you know, everybody, you know, come together as one for that event.
Now, I know that how many people actually attended that event? Because I know it looked pretty packed, but how many people would you say were there?
Man, I can't really put a number on that because I'm not sure. I was mainly just running around capturing footage.
Yeah.
But I just remember that whole event space being packed.
Yeah.
for an event that like not a lot of people know a lot about. They're just like Flatland. All right,
For something
let's go
you
check it
would
out.
think that no one would care about or
Yeah,
be
you know?
attending, right? Like it's
Yeah.
not something big in Houston talked about or something.
But it was a really good turnout, and then and also like, you know, it kind of just like, man, bro, I never knew about that, and it kind of like, you know, now I see it around more on my Instagram feed, and I'm just like, bro, this is dope. Yeah.
The algorithm got
Yeah,
you.
it was just like, yes, Flatland, bro, boom, 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 BMX, boom, boom, boom.
So
boom.
people traveling all over the world to come down here.
Yeah.
and-
So what it was a competition for the Flatlanders to come out, and then like Friday was kind of more of like a pream. Everybody's just coming to like a little event that they kind of put together, and they just had people practicing tricks, stuff like that. Everybody just kind of like grouping up together. And then later on that night, they kind of had an after party, and then the event was actually Saturday. So they had, you know, kids participating from a school that Omari actually put together, where he actually teaches these kids how to do flatland, because it's there's not a lot of young kids in America that actually do this. It's very, very popular overseas, but here in America, not a lot of people do it. So he's actually teaching the youth, and he's actually, you know, trying to see if he can provide bikes and stuff like that for these kids. But yeah, it was the kids. Kids went first, and then it went to like semi-pro, and then you started seeing the pros come out, and the pros were just doing like the most craziest things, bro. Like the bike was all the way flipped over, and they're still riding the bike all around this circle, taking up all the space, bro. It was insane.
You know what you need to do is just upload some sceneries as we're going.
No, yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen.
We're throwing it in there.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
I have
Yeah.
all that footage right there for you
Yeah.
guys to check out as we're talking.
Throw it in there,
Don't
'cause
worry,
I
I
think
got you
people-
guys. I got
Yeah,
you.
we're gonna make sure y'all understand what he's talking about. It looks dope.
Yeah.
And so, talking about these people that are traveling all the way to Houston, you also got to travel a little bit yourself as soon as March kicked in, flying out to Phoenix. What's up?
Yeah, so Phoenix, we went out there to go visit my girl's family, and she actually has some family out there in Phoenix. So I decided, hey, let's take advantage of it. Let's take the drone out there. Never been to Phoenix, never been to Arizona. So I took the drone out there. We actually recorded her cousin's red Impala. When I tell you this thing is bad, bro, this thing is bad. And of course, showing the footage right here again. But yeah, he has a really dope old school Impala that you see in like a lot of lowriders and stuff like that, lowrider pages and stuff like that. He was like, yeah, I'm down for us to shoot this video. So we literally shot this video quick, bro. It was like 10, 15 minutes. We rode around the block. I had my iPhone and a drone, ladies and gentlemen, can work wonders. People don't understand, bro. Work with what you got.
No, yeah,
But
for sure.
yeah, it was a really good time. Got to see the desert, see the mountains out there, and yeah, good little breath, a good little takeaway. And then I remember flying in from Phoenix, and then we did the Todo Cambio acoustic set.
Yes.
Remember that? Yeah,
He
bro.
was-
Remember?
Oh,
he had
literally.
just flown in.
Remember,
You know
I
what?
just
You
flew-
flew in. We
He
had.
got an Uber to
Yeah.
to
That's
us.
right.
And
I
that's where
remember.
I come in. So I didn't say much at the beginning because I wasn't with you guys. and I
right.
was just like this.
Dang, that's,
But that's where I come in.
that's right. I
Yeah.
forgot.
That was
about
actually the first thing that I remember seeing Monica like really doing what she's really, really good at, which is just, hey, do you need anything? Hey, do you need anything?
Operations management all
operations
day.
manager to the freaking max.
Yeah.
And it was really dope
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah, it was actually our first time like having her do that for
Yeah.
us, right? Where we're like, hey, like let's try this out, let's see how that feels, and we're like, let's see how it works out, and everybody was kind of like, hey, that's pretty dope that y'all have
Yeah.
somebody just managing
Waters on deck,
all these
snacks on
things.
deck. Hey, do
Yeah.
you need anything? Hey,
Yeah.
I have ibuprofen if you have a
Yeah.
headache.
Well, it's-
Everything's taken care
We
of,
had
bro.
in-ears, extra in-ears.
Oh, yeah,
Extra
yeah.
in ear, everything was taken care of
Yeah.
because Monica thinks about the little stuff that may go over our head sometimes.
Yeah,
So
the
yeah, you
stuff
always,
that guys don't think about.
Yeah.
Just about being honest. Yeah,
Or honestly, it's not even a guy thing. I think it's more like what you said earlier. Cada quien, every person has their own role, and they have that role because they're great at it, and that's what they're doing. And so you were busy with your music, you were busy with the video and the taking pictures
and flying in last minute.
Yes,
Bro.
literally,
hold on,
literally, guys.
But I remember like Alan had discussed with us. He was like, so Alan had got me the opportunity to be able to record there for free, right?
Oh,
He's
yeah,
like,
that's
he
right,
gave me
that's
the
right.
opportunity, and I'm like, man, that's awesome. I'm so down for that. So I'm thinking like, okay, how are we gonna plan this out? And he's like, hey, I'm sorry, but all the other weekends, but this weekend is available for you, and it's free.
Yeah,
So do you want it
exactly.
or not? And it's kind of
You're
like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna say no to that.
Exactly.
So I immediately reach out to Alex. I'm like, hey, Alex, guess what, bro? I just got this opportunity. I'm so excited. And he's like, yeah, it's awesome. When is it? And I'm like, it's on this day. And he's like, oh, remember, I'm going to be in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And then he's like, but wait, when are we coming back? Oh, I can fly in at that hour.
Wow.
And I was just
Yeah,
like,
we moved up the flight. That's what it was.
That's
We're supposed
what-
to come
Y'all
at.
moved- y'all moved
yeah.
up the flight.
So
See,
we're supposed to
that's
leave.
awesome.
We're supposed to leave that night just to maximize the day, like we usually do. But I was like, nah, let's leave earlier. That way we can just capitalize on the day and then actually get there right on time. Sure enough, got there right on time, right before we recorded and
Yep.
everything.
and you know what? I want to give a huge shout out to Hyro because Hyro Chacon, because what he did was he literally came, set everything up. Obviously he was part of the pictures. Him and his wife did a great job helping us out with that. But in general, he knew the situation. I was like, hey, can you help me set up, make sure lighting looks good? That way when Alex gets here, it's just like, all right, here, let me just give some
Just take
direction
it,
on what I want to see, and boom, let's move forward.
Bro, I didn't move a thing.
Yeah,
I was
I know.
just like, all right, you're good, bro. Like, where do I
Let's
need
go.
to stand?
Wow,
You told me where to be.
yeah.
You already got it under control.
Yeah.
I don't want to come in and mess up what you got.
Everything was locked in. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, what do you? And he was still like, what do you think? What should we do?
Yeah, I'm
Right.
just like, bro,
like-
you
I
got it. You
remember
killed it.
that.
Hey, I was
Right.
like, let's roll with it, right?
Yeah.
So that was an awesome thing that happened in March, and man, I completely
that was
forgot
in
about that.
March.
Yeah, that was in March.
that was in March.
I
I
literally
completely
remember that
forgot
after
about
talking
that.
about Phoenix. I was like, that's right.
Yeah, you flew right back in, and it was like the first weekend going into March.
Yeah,
right?
I flew in.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah, I flew in, took an Uber from the apartment. I mean, from the airport to the apartment. Got my car, packed up the car with all the gear, and then took off from there to go to the shoot. And then
Right.
I was there from the shoot. Then I think I went to go visit my parents, and then I went home. I was like, dude, I'm exhausted. This is crazy. But I mean, it was actually fun though, bro. Like I said, like I wouldn't trade it for the world.
man, I just think people forget about like sometimes you can make something way bigger than what it is, right? Like
Exactly.
you're like, oh man, I'm going to Phoenix. I might as well take advantage of the opportunity, taking my gear just to see what I can get out of there and enjoy myself, you know. And people don't get into that. And
Bro, that's, I mean, I take advantage of everywhere we go, bro, to be honest. I mean, yes, it's vacation, but it's also like I get to document the vacation.
Right.
And it's not work to me, bro. It's like,
nah, you're having
yeah,
fast
for me,
time.
I'm having fun recording
Yeah.
us having a good time, you know?
I
That
like
way,
vlogging.
that way I can look
too.
at it when I get old and like, yo, I forgot I did that. Bro, I'm looking at vlogs from whenever I was posting, whenever I was like 15, 16,
Wow.
17. I'm just
Yeah.
like, dude, that's crazy.
High school times and stuff.
Yeah, I totally forgot I did that. Oh, I forgot we did that. That's crazy.
So in my days, it wasn't vlogging or anything. It was called picking up a camcorder and recording. We would put, my sister and I, we would put a camcorder. If y'all, I don't know if y'all know what that is.
Of course, I have one.
Really? That's
It's
cool.
what
VHS.
we use now.
So we would put it up and then we would just either perform or like whatever. You know, it was crazy. It was like today, but with a camcorder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you know, since we're actually talking right now on the podcast, I was remembering how right after we came back from capturing the acoustic video, we started talking about like, hey, man, was a great opportunity that came up. Like, why are we not talking a little bit more about this? And then we literally started having like, man, I had like at least 10 people reach out to me, like gave me a personal call and were like, hey, you guys should start a podcast. And I'm like, of what? And they're just like, man, just everything you're doing. Like, just start sharing your stories. Like, I'm always wondering how did that even come about? Like,
Yeah.
how did you even get that opportunity? Like, how does that always happen to y'all? That kind of thing. Those questions really have come up to me. Like, right, Alex, we've hung out at places
Couple
and like,
times,
we go
yeah.
out to you people and they're like, can I ask you a question? Like, yeah. How did somebody just randomly come up to you and give that to you or offer that to you? It was the most randomest thing, right? So they're like, you should start a podcast. And they even told Alex a couple times too, right? Like they're like mentioning to you.
Yeah.
And y'all were like, it's a great idea, but I don't know.
We were kind of busy, you know.
Yeah, y'all had
Well,
things.
you know-
And then Monica comes along and I'm like, start the podcast,
And
guys.
literally, Monica was like, "Hey, I will not be here if y'all don't start a podcast
Right? Like,
because
I'm gone if we don't start,
Because we
guys.
always talked about the idea of it, but it was also more of just like, man, I don't know if we got the time for it or like.
Well, we also had started it too.
Yeah.
Back
That's right.
in 2020, like took
Yeah.
off, and everybody kept catching COVID. So it was just like, oh yeah, we're gonna do it this week. Oh, this person caught COVID. Next week it is.
Next week it is.
And it just after a while, bro was like, all right, let's just give up and
Yeah.
Yeah. Then life took over, bro. After
Yeah,
that.
life took over after that, and So yeah, everybody's been contemplating it.
Yeah, and then eventually we just finally jumped the gun and we are like, hey, let's see what happens. You know,
Yeah.
let's see what happens. And I felt really good whenever we put that clip out. We're like, "Brr, brr, brr, brr."
Yeah.
Are we good though?
Oh, hold on. I have a question. The kind of music that I like to listen to, what is it called?
Huh?
Guys, I have a question. The type of music that I like, what is it called?
Like you and
Bro.
everybody who has seen that is not going to let me down.
Oh my god.
Guys.
That was hilarious. I think that was like the best way to reel people
Yeah.
into it because they were like, really?
Yeah.
Did that really just happen? Like, what's happening, right? So it caught a lot of people's attention, and I think that was a pretty cool.
I think
pretty
that,
cool
that was,
introduction.
and that's a very good visualization of what happens often when I speak, because you guys are like, you take too long to talk. You take too long. Like, hurry up, you know. And then
Sometimes she's like getting there. Come on, get there. Come on.
And then-
You're on the verge of it. Come on.
and then you guys start talking, and
You
I'm
gotta
like,
do it like Billy Madison.
No, wait.
Hurry it up, Junior.
Today,
Today,
Junior.
Junior.
Hey,
no.
Junior!
And then y'all start talking, and I'm like, stop interrupting me. And you're like, Monica, we're not interrupting you. We thought you were done.
We're like, we thought you were paused.
So no, it was just I wasn't finished with my
that was-
statement, but
That was
I
a
didn't
very
finish
small
it.
glimpse into what happens like on a day to
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much what you see on this podcast is what you're gonna get whenever we're working on set or if we're working on something or anything like that.
Yeah, if
Good
you're hanging
vibes,
out
good
with
energy,
us-
you know.
If you're hanging out with us, this is just what it is. This is where we're at, right? And so I guess it was like pretty cool to start the podcast again for me. I was excited to kind of have the opportunity because everybody was saying like, oh, share what's happening to y'all, and I just feel like we're super like excited and grateful and like humbled by the opportunities, but at the same time, like I feel like there's so much talent out here in Houston. There's so many stories, and I feel like our team is not about like at all the who's doing better than who and how much money someone's making, and I'm more of like, man, you're creative too. That's cool. Come and share your story
exactly.
here. Let's talk about it, right? And so like I feel like it was funny how like we came up with the idea and everybody was like, I'm down. Can I be a part of the
Yes.
podcast?
Yep.
Like even like literally last week
gonna tell
we
you.
posted that. Well, what's his name? Marcus. Marcus
yeah.
wrote to us. He was like, "Hey, bro, let me know when I can be a part of the podcast." And I was like, "Man, that's cool. That like Marcus is doing great. I think he's got like 2-3 songs right now on the top like 100 Billboard charts right now for
nice.
a gospel song. Right?
Yeah.
He's just releasing music videos on BET. Like he's doing great for himself right now." And he's just like, hey, I want to be a part of that podcast. So
That's awesome.
I'm like, hey, sign him up. January, let's
Exactly.
go. Put him in.
Exactly.
You know, so I'm excited to see like what more is going to come about the podcast and everything that's going to continue moving through here.
Yes, sir.
I do want to say before we
yeah,
move
go
on, if you don't mind, that's one of the things I absolutely appreciate about you guys is that y'all aren't. It kind of goes in the same category as gatekeeping. Y'all don't gatekeep. Y'all are very like, bro, there's enough room for everyone.
There is.
There's
What-
no reason to compete. There's no reason to be like, no, I need to outshine this person or that person. I've never seen that from you guys. And that's why I love being a part of the team. And when you guys invited me, that was one of the main reasons. I'm like, these guys are good. Like they're not out here trying to compete with anybody. They're like, hey, there's enough room for everybody. Come on.
It's like we always say, there's enough money for everybody, bro.
Yeah.
There's so many
Everyone.
businesses out here in Houston. There's so many people that need videos. I can't do videos for everybody, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We start referring out already. We're just like, hey, you want to come make this much? Here you go. Boom. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's just better that way.
Exactly. Like,
Friends helping friends.
yeah.
Yes.
That's how we see it at the end of the day, because like I said, there's enough businesses and there's enough opportunities for everybody to get their bag and everybody to go home happy. So why am I going to gatekeep that?
Absolutely.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm a big believer that we actually get that a lot from some of our mentors, some of the people that we work with, also like some of our actual clients, right? So like Daniel, who is the owner and operator of a McDonald's, right? We're currently running their social media. Super honored. We've been doing it for a little bit over a year now, and man, I just feel like his vision continues to grow and develop into what he's trying to do with this. And
good.
to me, I'm like, man, I'm just humbled to be a part that he's allowing us to kind of just play a small role in his vision and what God has put in his heart to do, you know?
Yeah.
And so like, even him, like right now, he's been invited to like different panels. He gets invited to like share his story because, I mean, he has an amazing story. Like this is a guy that comes from a big family. They really come from a low income home. They struggled a lot financially, and to see him be successful and to be a person that's just like super humble, you would never know how successful this man is. Like how just great of a person this guy is, and he's crushing it out here. And he's still like, his main concern still is like, man, how can I keep talking more and more about Jesus? Like, that's his life.
That's his end goal.
It is.
And I was like, man, I love somebody who has like that, just that end goal in their mind, always 24/7. You know what I'm saying?
Like everything he does is around, like it's just surrounded around that. Like that's the end goal. Like, yes, I do want to do this, and yes, I want to invest in this, and I want to try this, and I want to experiment with this, but it's surrounded by the main concept, right? His main idea, right? And it's awesome to see that. And even like him letting us play a part, like he let us go to Bay City High School, right?
Oh, yeah, Bay City High School.
What were they doing? They gave away like Happy Meals and stuff to the kids. And
yeah, they had like a little booth set up. So they had a booth set up, and then they also donated some money to tuition.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right.
tuition.
So like a bunch of high school kids graduated from Bay City High School.
Scholarships, stuff
Right.
like that.
Right, so he's just like, man, I'm giving back to his own community where, you know, he has most of the people that go to his McDonald's, right? So it's just like he has no problem just saying, man, I want to give back to the people that are blessing me as well, you know? So that was pretty cool to see. And then even in July, we moved into McFamily Day. Y'all remember McFamily Day, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Big family day.
It's a little stressful.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but it's cool.
An event that it's an event that will always be sometimes stressful, but at the end of the day, whenever that day comes, it's like, dang, we really put this together. This is dope. Because it's everything kind of coming together, you know? And then you start seeing the people pull up and seeing the smiles on their faces from, you know, all the different things that Daniel's offering, from like the petting zoos to the live worship, and then the free Happy Meals as well. It's just like, dang, like, this is dope. You know, this is cool to be a part of. And, you know, I'm happy that, although at times it can be stressful with, you know, scheduling and this and that.
You're seeing all the kids just run around. Man, it's packed. It was awesome. I loved it. And
I loved it too.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I thrived that day.
I was
it
stressed.
awesome.
I was stressed.
You were.
I was stressed. I was
that.
like, man, like I hope it goes well. How are we doing? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
You kept like
Yeah,
Monica.
what does this look like?
Yes, yeah.
What's the numbers
Needed
look like? And
reassurance.
Daniel, man, it was great because even like Daniel, when he first reached out, and I remember having our first McFamily Day 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And
yes,
it was
y'all
it
told
was
me.
it was great. Same concept, same idea. And then this year, Daniel was like, "Hey, how can we make this better?" He's like, "Yeah, we did do this. We did have certain things, but how can we make this better?" And it was just like, man, how can we make it better?
Exactly.
Like, hey, why don't we get more? Let's plan a little bit more ahead of time. Now let's also start thinking about what other types of incentives we can have. He had like gift cards. Then they had a prayer tent, which I thought was really cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when he first came up with the idea, I was like, I'm not sure how effective that's gonna be at McDonald's. You know, like just being honest, 'cause I don't think anyone was really considering it like that type of event, right? But I was like, I'm not opposed to it. Let's try it, right? And then I thought, okay, how can we make the prayer tent a little more intriguing, right? Why not reach out to some friends? So I want to give a shout out to Pastor Ruben Villarreal from La Iglesia del Pueblo, who gave us the opportunity to bring Radio Aleluya. You know, I would say they're probably still the number one Spanish
think so,
Christian
yeah.
station right here in Houston. And so huge blessing to have them come. They brought a whole team out. And the funny thing is we only asked them to come and pray for people. We're like, hey,
Right.
can you guys set up a tent? 2 of you guys come and y'all can pray for people that are there. No, they're like, no, we're going to air the station out there so that more people can hear about us out there. And then they showed up with Bibles. They brought like books for
yeah,
people
that's
to
right.
read.
Dang.
They had shirts,
Cups,
cups, like little
yeah, all
wristbands.
kinds of- yep.
Man, people were like, man, this is really cool that y'all, like literally people came up to us and were like, that's really cool that y'all have an entire radio station here for us. So huge shout out to them. Big blessing for that. And then huge shout out to the band, man. Like we had we had like 3 bands, right?
Oh, yeah,
So it's
that's
like
right.
it was so cool to see like all these musicians are like, hey, it's gonna be a hot day out there, and everybody wants to take an hour break to get a little McFlurry
Hot.
action, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like,
Yeah, they don't understand. Hot.
hey,
Standing
and you
out
know
there
what?
in the
Hot.
sun.
Speaking about how hot it was, I'm gonna give
July.
another shout out to my boy Lewis,
Oh,
Lewis
yes.
Adams, because he gave us a referral to this guy. Man, amazing guy. He's got a lot of great equipment, but he brought us a trailer that had a huge cover on it.
Yep.
Man, it's great. His name's Chris. Chris did awesome, man. He came, set it up like in 15 minutes by himself. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
it was. He like goes up to this button, he just presses it, and it just like installs itself. It's amazing.
So Transformer.
Yeah, I was like, all right, Transformers.
Now we gotta sing the whole song to get it out of our minds.
So yeah, it was cool. Like Lewis gave us that recommendation. We used them, and man, that saved us because it was hot out there.
Dude.
But and even like
Yeah.
not just for like us who obviously we're dehydrated out there, but we're talking about like the equipment. You know, the year prior to that, we had one event where we did not have a covering,
Oof.
and we had to go live because the computer just shut down.
Yep.
It was
It's
so,
so
hot.
hot.
Right. So the laptop was like, nah, I'm done. Like, nah,
I'm out.
That's enough for tonight. You know. So
Wow.
it was cool.
There's
And
a
actually,
workaround now
this year
with
we did two McFamily days. One was in June in July, and then the following one in Bay City was done in August. And essentially, it's the same thing. And it was really cool because it's just like reaching out to 2 different cities, and yet each one had like a different crazy story happen. The one that really stuck out to me the most was when we went to Bay City, and I don't know if y'all even noticed it, but I didn't notice it at all. But there was a family that showed up there with a young man that, little boy actually, he was like maybe 6 or 7 years old, and he had like this random sickness. I don't even remember the name of the sickness, but I remember that he was very like spotted, and it almost looked like, you know, when you get sunburn, like I'm talking about super sunburn, like in the movies where their skin is peeling. Well, that's literally what his entire body looked like. His arms were peeling, his legs were peeling, and I didn't notice it while we were up there singing or anything like that. But when we got off stage, the mom came running to us and was like, "Hey, you guys really blessed us with the music. It was really powerful. I have a son that has a random sickness, and it costs a lot of money just for the maintenance, right? Like to try to just, you know, keep it under a good condition and stuff like that. And so, the treatment, right? And so it was kind of like, man, it was heartbreaking to see that, right? And Daniel was like, hey, you know what? At the next McFamily Day, like, you know, we want you to be a part. We'll probably help you out. Also, you know, just send them to places and refer them to places that he can actually receive services. We actually prayed for her and the kid. It was pretty cool. And like, to me, that's huge, right? Like, it's just a big reminder that it's like sometimes you don't even notice it if you don't pause, because it's such a big event. We're busy. We're seeing like everything's going well. And then for us to be able to stop and just say, hey, someone came and say, hey, thank you for what you're doing. And that to me was like, all right, like McFamily Day.
Yeah.
You know, or like Sabrina says, McFamily.
McFamily.
And
When
then,
one of us is in trouble, all we gotta say is McFamily, and the rest show up.
yeah, RJ comes running.
In the pink bunny suit.
We need to make him a Happy Meal toy. We'll talk to Daniel about that one.
Oh my god.
Hey, so then we go from like living it up with McDonald's over there at McFamily Days to getting reached out to by Charles. Charles, a great friend of ours. Also, you know, just a guy who's loves poetry, loves doing spoken word, and man, honestly, straight up gifted. The guy really just does an awesome job, man. He speaks from his heart. I've heard him like do just all kinds of off the dome, and it's just like, God, like
Even on the podcast.
yeah, even on the
Yes.
podcast,
Even
bro,
on
he
the podcast.
killed that. I was like,
I
Even on
was
the
crying.
podcast.
I was like,
Why you
crying?
crying, fool?
Stop
I
crying.
was
Why are you crying, fool?
Why are you
crying?
Charles
Why-
is funny, dog.
yeah, Charles is hilarious. and he reaches out and he's like, hey guys, first of all, I just wanted to reach out to y'all. I know you guys are probably busy or whatever, but I just wanted to see if you guys were interested in helping us out. And we're like, bro, of course we'd be interested. And Charles has been doing great. He's been like, he's just, man, the guy's consistent. I think I see him posting so many times a week,
Yes.
and it's like, guys putting in the work, right? Like that's what matters,
Gotta
right? He's
respect
hustling out
it.
here.
You gotta respect it.
respect it, bro. Like it's he's putting in the time and effort into it, so he's gonna see nothing but results, right? And so he reaches out to us. He's talking about actually releasing his first single. Never released a single in his life. He's obviously posted videos on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever, but he's never actually released a song. And he's like, this time I'm gonna go all out. Available on Spotify, Apple, wherever digital platform available, right? So I'm like, all right, Charles, you're going like hard. You're gonna go all out. And he's like, but I'm gonna actually have music behind it. So yeah, he actually was already working with the producer who tracked audio to be under like the message that he wanted to share. And so I was like, dang, this is fire. And he's like, can you help us out with the video? And so Alex was like, hey, set up the meeting, bro, meet up, and then y'all just kind of
took it from there,
wrote
bro.
it all out, right?
He already had an idea of what he had in mind, and then we kind of just spoke on, all right, how can we take this idea and take it to a whole nother level? Because a lot of the time people have an idea of what they want to do, but they don't have like the actual vision in mind. So that's where we come in, and we're like, all right, how do we bring this dope idea you have to life? So yeah, he pictured just playing a whole bunch of chess games or against different people, and I was like, well, all right, cool. Let's just shoot it in a way that looks dope. Let's have so many people. Let's make it look like you're playing so many people, and you're telling everybody, send me everybody.
Hey, I was waiting for you to stop talking just so I can go, hey, but do you remember? Send me everybody. I was like, as soon as I heard the song, I was like, all right.
Yeah.
That's how you feel? Yeah. That's how you feel? And then it was funny because he was like, he reminded me of that song by Lil Wayne, because he was like, yeah, show me my opponents. Like I wanna be able to be taking one out at a time. When he was like discussing about the music video, and he just reminded me of that song by Lil Wayne, show me my opponent.
Oh yeah.
Show me my opponent. He's coming for people, you know. So that was awesome, man. We got to work with him also, and then by the end of July, we got some very interesting news from our business partner, my boy Alex. Made the decision to say, hey, you know what? Things are getting busy for Creative Minds, and we feel like it's time to take a leap of faith. And we both started talking about leaving our jobs this year. And we were both like, nah, I don't know. Like there's like and we go back and forth, right? Like sometimes I'm like, hey, bro, that's it, bro. I'm done with the city of Houston.
Done
like,
with this, dog.
I think it's time. I think it's time. Like, I've been there for 6 years. I've invested now. I just think it's the season. Like, I think if we're not gonna do it now, we're never gonna do it. And then he's like, man, I don't know, bro. I don't know if I want to leave my job right now. Ito's taking care of me pretty good. Like, I'm doing really good over here at Ito Vodka. I'm not sure if I want to leave this. And I'm like, no. And then he just got there, like it's going great. And I was like, you're right. And then he'd be like, man, you know what, man? I think you're right. I was hearing you out, and maybe I want to jump. And I'm like, nah, bro. But you know what? I'm gonna sit tight too, because I need that insurance. It was always like, it's like a tug and pull. And in July, one day he was like, hey, like literally after recording Audacious video, he was like, hey, you know what, bro?
In August, no?
July. It was the end of July. Alex was like, hey, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm just gonna have a conversation with Ito Vodka, and I'm just gonna let them know thank you for everything. It's my time to go. And I just feel like we got to get ready for whatever's next. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, we don't have anything next. And I was like,
we had nothing planned. Literally for August, we were just like, nah, bro, we're going to just take it off. We got our birthdays in August.
Being 100 honest, we were thinking like 100% honest. We're like, August is vacation mode, and we're just going to chill. And then hopefully a job comes up at the end of the year, because we have nothing. That's what it was. We were like, at least we had a great vacation. We had 7 months of work, and the rest of the year, I guess we're just off, other than working for McDonald's, right? Like that. But it's just like nothing new, right? So we were like, all right, screw it, we'll see what happens. And Alex was like, let's see what happens. Let's quit. Let's move on. Let's try it.
Wow.
And he inspired me. He quit. And I'm like, all right, it's August. It's time to do it. Do I take the jump? Do I not do the jump? I'm going to do it. Alex did it. I got to do it now. Like, I was just like, I got to match the vibe, you know? And he's already taking the risk. He's also younger than me, so it's a lot easier, I think. But but even for me, I'm just like, nah, I can't. I'm not going to let him outdo me like that.
I know it took you a good while.
Yeah, I had my pride. My pride, I was like, no. I always said I was going to do it first. Like,
I'm going to do it backflip too. What the
I was like, nah, I'm going to risk it. I'm going to take it. I'm going to go.
Backflip too,
I was like, I'm going to do full-time music and full-time Creative Minds, right? Just working hard and doing the things that we love to do. And I said, screw it. August came around. I jumped out of the plane too.
That's wild.
You know,
That is
it's-
so wild.
And so the first thing we did, we were like, all right, so now that we quit our jobs, we're gonna go for real. We need a better drone. That's the first thing we said.
Literally the first thought. Hey, looking back on everything, I'm like,
That was
dude,
the first thing.
what were you thinking, bro? Hey, but everything is just like, all right, yeah, screw it, let's go with the punches, go,
It was hilarious,
go.
like, let's get that
Each
drone.
other up like
Yeah.
nobody else.
And then it was August, so we're like, hey, that is a good birthday present.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a good.
Y'all
I'm August
would,
23rd,
y'all
August
would.
28th. I'm like,
Yep.
this is perfect,
That would
right?
be dope.
Happy birthday, Derek.
Yeah, happy birthday, Derek.
So we ordered that FPV drone. And we were super excited about it. Alex is like, all right, like literally every day that we're in the office, I'm like working on like either editing, we're cutting up like music, we're working on tracks, or just setting up tracks for music and stuff like that. And Alex is just on this remote control, and I'm like, bro, what are you doing? He's like, oh, it's my simulator. I'm just training right now.
Lift
You
off.
would.
Hey,
would,
it was
Lift
like this.
off, bro.
I swore he
Funny
thought he
or
went
what?
to pilot school or something. Like, he started
Every day.
He came in every week with a different pin. He had.
Hey, I was trying to make
He
it
was-
the fucking Top Gun, bro. I was trying to make it the Top Gun.
He was like
Yeah.
he was like that dude from Let's Be Cops. He kept coming in with different patches.
I was gonna say every week he gave himself, he awarded himself a new.
Hey, I
a
got
new
promoted
patch.
to sergeant.
One day I came with the aviators and I was like, let's ride.
It's Lieutenant Alejandro to you.
It's
He
Lieutenant
walked
Get it
in
out
with
to
his
you.
boots and everything.
I started calling him Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump.
Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan.
Dan.
Yeah. So the best part about it was he comes up to us. He's like, "Hey, check this out, right?" So he decides he's gonna show us where he's gonna drive the drone. So he actually takes it to the train tracks, which is like we have a train tracks pretty close to our studio. So we're riding around. I'm looking at it. I'm like, man, I hope he doesn't crash it. It's the first time driving it. He kills it. He does great. We
Okay.
even capture content, and he's like, "Oh man, I got it already."
let's
So
go.
he starts. He goes to McDonald's. He's flying it over there. Every event we're going to, he's like, boom, boom, doing his thing, right?
Okay.
And then one day he comes in. 1 month later, right? Now
1 month
the-
later.
1 month?
4 weeks
No,
later
no,
after
no.
it arrives, he's like, "Hey, bro,
Drone's-
check out this.
I was like, drone's,
Nah.
drone's cooked.
Hey,
He goes,
check
what?
this out." And I'm like, "What?" And he sends me a picture, and I'm like, "We just spent. This is my birthday gift.
This is bad.
Happy
You
birthday,
broke-
Derek."
You broke my birthday gift.
You broke my birthday gift. I was mad. I was hot. I was like, this guy.
Ah, that's hard. I bet you were mad at yourself
Yeah,
too.
I was.
Yeah.
I really was.
So
I know.
But
that was September.
I was like, but
But
it was a learning experience. I will say that.
For sure.
Very big learning experience.
We'll be getting a new FPV, guys.
Yeah, getting a new one
So call me.
soon.
Oh,
Not
the-
right now, but soon.
Sooner than later.
Sooner than later. But yeah.
So we crashed our FPV, and I'm really mad because
At a baseball park.
like a week later, I get a phone call from Alan, and he's like, "Hey,
Oh yeah.
got a concert next month in October," and Armando, basically owner and musician, right, a producer for La Mafia, he's like, "Hey, do you think Omar and Creative Minds want to come over here and help us out? Do you think the whole team would come out and just help us capture some content?" And I'm like,
Of course.
"Yeah, we can definitely
We
supply
can do
this.
that for
Yes.
you, yeah.
Of
Let me
course we
see.
can."
I'm free. Let's go.
What day did you say? Cancel. I am there. Let's go.
we have nothing on our calendar.
Right, exactly. And granted, we really had
really didn't.
nothing the rest of the year. We're like, all right, we'll see what happens, right? So October comes in, and boom, they sign us up for, I think it was October 21st.
Yep, yeah.
So we show up to Arena Theater. They've got a sold out concert. It was super packed that night.
Yeah.
And man, we had an awesome experience. I'm talking about, for me at least, from the moment we walked in, everything felt right. I think, first of all, it has to do with the pre-planning. Having a conversation with
Good.
Armando and Oscar about what their vision was. So we went to their studio. We got a chance to just talk to them a little bit. Me and Anna were asking them questions about what's the vision? What do you want to see, right? What all is expected? And it was funny because like a lot of, I remember like I was sharing with them how we want to give them photos in real time. We want to give them
Oh,
videos
yeah.
in real time. And they were like, man, like that's pretty dope. Like we haven't had that done yet for our team and for our band. So that'd be awesome to have. And so it was just really cool, like getting to work with them, right? And have the opportunity. And I remember I called Alex, hey, who's the team? Who are we going to get? How are we going to make this work? And well, I'm Alex. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. I was like, yeah. So the team, first off, we always work with our homeboy Omar. Not you, but Omar
said not
Martinez.
you.
Tocayo Martinez.
Yeah, Omar Martinez, really dope photographer out of Galveston. He
G-Town?
he always helps us out with like our graphic design work, but he's also a really good photographer. And he came to us with like some ideas that he had in mind, and I was like, dude, I didn't even think about that.
Right.
That's smart.
Right.
Yeah, let's do that. And like posting in real time, he's the one that came up with the idea.
Right.
Like, yo, we should be posting real time. Like, that's a great idea. That's the new standard. That's what you see Taylor Swift doing. That's what you see Drake
Pretty
doing.
much
That's what
everybody
you see
doing.
everybody doing. If they're on tour, they're posting in real time. So I was like, that's definitely a new standard. So
By the way, guys, Alex loves Taylor Swift.
yeah, I'm a Swiftie.
Shake it off. You can't say Taylor Swift and not sing a song.
So he was covering more of the photos, and then we also had, of course, the video aspect of what we had going on. So we had Vanessa being our selects person, is what I like to call her. She
Very
was,
selective.
yeah, very
selector.
selective. But nah, she was mainly just selecting all the things that looked dope for the video, and then I would come in at the end of the concert and then start putting the whole video together. And like Omar mentioned, pre-planning is very, very important. Pre-production is very, very important. So when we spoke with them and we got the idea of what they wanted to do, it was like, okay, let's get some ideas of what people were doing. You know, let's look at Lyrical Lemonade recaps. Let's look at EDC recaps. Let's look at what are the big people doing. And you're just seeing this really dope montage of all the best music and sound effects. And
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. When Alex was showing me all these videos of like what his concepts were, I swear I felt like I was like a basketball player just hooping, and then they're like watching the tapes.
Yeah.
We gotta go watch this team.
Yeah.
Go watch how they're playing. Look at their defense. Look at what they're doing.
It's literally
and
what
I was
it is,
just
bro.
like, dang,
You're
I like
right.
that idea.
It
Let's copy and
literally
paste.
is.
That's
Yeah,
literally what
it
it is,
literally
bro.
is.
It's like you watch someone else's creation and then get inspired by it to just switch
Exactly.
it up.
So
Yeah.
whenever we took that and we're like, okay, what we need to do is take music that's really, really popular and create it into one big mashup using sound effects, stuff like that, and then I think it'll make a banger videos. But I told Omar, and Omar was like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, okay, cool. Jumped on it. We started downloading sound effects, me and Vanessa, trying to figure out what would actually work, what would sound dope. What me and you sat down, we're like, all right, what song should we use
Oh, that's
as
right.
far as, you know, this video goes? And we're like, all right, cool. I think we're at a good point where
Hey, I gotta cut you off because immediately he was like, "Hey, we gotta play the one my dad likes."
Oh, so sweet.
Shout out to the pops.
shout out to Pops, you know what I'm saying?
Immediately he was
Shout
like,
out to
"Un millón
Pops.
de rosas." And I was like,
Whom, by the way, just had a birthday, a big milestone
Yeah,
birthday,
dude,
right?
that's
turned
right.
60, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Big blessing, bro. 60
Big
years old.
blessing.
Yeah. So yeah.
Um,
And then I was like, yes, we throw that song because that's like the classic. Everybody knows them for that song. And then I was like, then you got to throw their new release that's
Yeah.
been jamming.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, este es el momento para enamorar. Yeah. So they were killing it. Yeah, what the like,
Keep
song.
going.
Go- I was
and,
gonna say, go for it.
and then we also had Omar here doing pretty much a little bit of everything. I was like, yo, capture photos, capture
He's a
video, just, you know, do your thing. So what we usually do on sets is I'll be the guy that's just setting up the camera, setting up the lights, doing all that stuff because that's what I like to do. And Omar is the guy that's like, hey, let me talk to people and make sure everybody's, you know,
Yes.
being interactive, everything like that. And I think it works really well. So I was like, dude, I want to focus on just the performance shots. If you can just get the crowd work, that would be dope.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, we had everybody lit. Everybody was, even Omar was like, I had told Omar, hey, take pictures, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
he's like, he literally tells me, but like, so like, what do you mean? Like, we don't have like a section, like he was all like kind
Like
of
a
nervous, right?
backdrop.
Yeah, like, we don't, like, or he was just like, I don't like, what do you mean? Just like, I'm like, no, get some still shots. He's like, yeah, but like, and then I was like, you know what? I was like, do you feel weird talking to you? He was like, a little bit. And I was like, Monica,
Yeah.
follow that guy.
He paired us up.
And then I was like,
Omar.
Vanessa, follow me. And so
Yeah.
Vanessa takes the camera, right? I'm just walking up to people. So as soon as I start seeing like a group of 10 or more, ¿cuántos están listos para ver la mafia esta noche? And everybody like, "Brr, brr, brr," screaming, like, yeah, vamos mafia. And then I'm like, ¿qué le quieren decir a Oscar? Te quiero mucho. Dude, there was a guy wearing a sombrero, like just going hard, literally dressed exactly like him. Like,
Oh,
it was
wow.
insane. He said that he's been like following him for like 20, 30 years plus. Like,
Crazy.
It's insane, bro.
Yeah.
Like he was like, I saw him when I was a little boy, and ever since then, like I just go to every concert every time they're in the city. Like huge fan.
Yeah.
Goes to different states to follow them around. I think that's cool, man.
Heck yeah.
And so that was for us a big blessing to be able to be
Very
a part of.
big. It was so fun to
And
be a part
A
of.
huge thank you to La Mafia for letting
For
us be a
sure.
part.
Yes,
Muchas
thank
gracias.
you.
Big shout out to Alan. Big
Yeah,
shout out to
Alan, thank you
Alan.
so much for the recommendation,
Yes.
man. We appreciate it, brother.
And
Much
man,
love.
all these things that we're talking about now just makes me think like, man, if we didn't have that, we wouldn't know what we know now. You know what I'm saying? Because like, I just remember being like in the edit, and I'm just like, bro, I don't know if I can do this, to be honest with
Yeah.
you, because it's real time. I'm trying to hurry up and finish the video. There's
a lot of stress.
We're backstage, so there's a whole bunch of people, you know, just going back and forth, and I'm just like, I want to hear, but I'm also got to focus on this. And then like, you know, with that experience, you're just like, oh, that's dope. You know, they elevated me, and they put me in like. They put me on another level, you know what I'm
They
saying?
challenged you too, man.
exactly, because
They
it was a whole
challenged.
bunch of different things I'd never done before.
And I'll be honest, man. I thought it was dope because I think we all could tell a little bit Alex was stressed because he was like,
Yes.
I usually see Alex very like nonchalant. I don't care about anything.
Correct.
And that day he was like, hey, go ahead and go set up over here. Hey, Omar, do me a favor. Can you go? And I was just
Yes.
and I was like, okay. Obviously,
You
I trust him
understood.
way more
You
when it comes to video.
understood, yeah.
I trust him more, but I could just tell he was a little bit more like, hey, I'm trying to be on point right now.
Right.
So, hey, bro, go over here, go take care of it. I was like, all right, cool. Like, I got you. So I'm going over there. And I remember, like, they were doing the sound check, right? Setting up the music, doing their thing. And as they knock out the sound check, they're like, all of a sudden, they're like, hey, what do you think you guys are going to do? Like, when do y'all have the video? Like, in 3 to 4 weeks? Or how long is it going to take y'all to upload the video for us? And we're like, well, actually, we're just about to airdrop it to you guys right now. And he's like, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like, what? Okay, come on. And I was like, yeah, we're about to drop it right now. Like, we're about to get it right now, bro. And he was like, bro. And then he's like, wait, but well, you know, we still want to sell like tickets at the door. There's a couple tickets left.
That's
why
right,
Don't
that's
we,
right.
Is it possible for y'all to add tickets are still on sale on the door? And we're like, yeah, for sure. We'll add that. What do you want to put it? No, pues ponle que los boletos están en venta.
Yep.
Perfect. I'm like, Alex, type it in. Alex types it in. Literally sends it to him. They were like, all right.
Yeah.
That's cool. And so they were like I thought that was cool because they were looking at Alex like, oh, all right.
They're like, oh,
We see
whoa.
you because
see
it wasn't like a raw footage either. It was it was great footage, like edited and like so nice, you
Effects,
know.
everything, for
Right,
sure.
right. You weren't giving them. I recorded it. Now here, boom. No, you worked on it, and y'all were fast.
Stressful.
Man, I was grateful
I
because
bet.
I got a chance to talk to them after the concert.
That's
they were
right.
super grateful. They were super like man, hey, they were impressed, honestly. And even Alan was like, hey man, everybody, not just like the main guys, but like the people that we got to work with, they appreciated working with us. And I think it was mutual. Like we felt like they were respectful to us just as much as we were respectful to them. Like they
Most
did a great
definitely.
job. They welcomed us. Like they made us feel part of the family that night. You
Yes,
know?
they
They brought
really,
us
really
tacos.
did.
But
They
I was like, start amazing.
did. And you know what? I think it was awesome because they're busy. They're busy people, but
Right.
they would pass by us and they would introduce themselves, speak to us. Oh, thank you for
Right.
being here. And then they would even have casual conversation. Like I know we had some or a few conversations like that with some of them at the end, and you're like, dude, you're not tired? Are you tired?
Yeah.
Nah, they
Even after,
they
yeah.
hung out. Like they spoke to us, thanked us, and they were great people.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was
Loved it.
awesome. So
Very
yeah,
good
and even like with that like opportunity that they gave us to work with them, like came about another opportunity that we just got in November as well, where Eduardo Treviño, such a small world. Eduardo Treviño actually is a young kid who is from Houston, right? He's a singer, and I actually got to meet him this year. I went to a funeral for Randy, who passed away. Randy from Enki Boys, TikTok viral guy. I get a phone call from his wife saying, hey, you know, someone recommended you as a worship leader, and I was wondering if you can come and sing some songs for my husband's funeral. And obviously I'm like, man, that's an honor, right? I'll be there. And I show up, and there's this kid dressed up in a mariachi outfit there, and he's like, hey, he was listening to us play, and then he comes up, he's like, hey guys, I was wondering if you and your band could accompany me. And I'm like, yeah, what key are you in? A flat. What song are you doing? Amazing Grace. Do you know it? I was like, oh yeah, we got this, bro. You play.
It's in the bag.
Yeah, it's in the bag. For sure. So we start playing. So like funeral happens. We play with them. It was great. We connected. Got to speak to his parents. Great people. And that's it. Parted ways, right? Doing our thing. Well, this kid goes to America's Got Talent. All of a sudden, he's like
It's wild.
just blowing up. He's coming out like on Good Morning America, like all these huge programs, just singing everywhere. Doors are just opening up, right? I get a phone call from Armando. He's like, hey, man, how's it going? Hope all is well. Hey, I don't know if you know about this kid named Eduardo Treviño. Yeah. We wanted to see if it would be okay to have him join us to just be a part of, come and capture this content. We're actually going to be recording him because we want to help him release a new single. And so they have now partnered up with Eduardo Treviño. They just announced it this weekend, actually. That they are going to be partnering with Eduardo Treviño. So they're going to help mentor and get this kid on the road to just more and more success. They're going to be releasing his single. Armando produced it, recorded all the music for it. We got the opportunity to go take pictures, capture the content, do like interviews with the parents to see kind of like, and even hearing their story of like, man, like, we've been waiting for this moment. You know, they can't believe it. Like their son just started doing music. He just started playing guitar in 2020, and this kid's already like doing his thing.
Wow.
You know, and so it's obviously a God-given gift. You know?
Yes.
And so that was awesome to see. And also in the month of November, even a shout out to Surreal Music Group, you know, who
Big
allowed
time.
us to just,
Lewis.
they actually, Lewis gets contracted a lot by different corporations, bars, wedding venues, stuff like that. And they have a company named Surreal Music Group. Just honestly, they do corporate high-end weddings, all kinds of cool stuff. And so we got to go record them at the Rustic. And what's the other place called? It's over there on Cadia. Is it La Cantera? No. Am I thinking about San Antonio? La Cantera. La Cantera Parkway over there. I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, San Antonio.
La
does have a
Centera. La
Oh, you were
Centera.
close. No
Yeah.
wonder.
Yeah,
It
No
reminds me of like
wonder.
it
We're
reminds me
thinking
of
about
like
UTSA.
like a Baybrook kind of vibe, you know?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
That's the best way I could.
Or what's the
describe
other
it.
one on Highway 6? There's another one on Highway 6 and I-10, right where it meets at.
10.
You know what I'm talking about? City Center.
City Center. There you go.
It's like a
Yeah.
city
City
center.
Center.
Yeah,
it's just like that.
Yes.
And man, we got to go capture that content. That was pretty awesome. And man, I just thought that kind of was how we were wrapping up our year, right? With
Actually,
Eduardo
one more,
and that. Oh, there's one more. What's that?
Yeah. So we actually did get to capture an event that was hosted by a chef.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yes. So his name was Chef Way, and Ito
Chef
Vodka.
what?
Chef Way.
Wow.
What the? Wow.
Mexican problems.
So
I know, right? You just
yeah,
automatically go there.
So Ito
Sorry,
sponsored
guys.
the event. Ito donated vodka to the event, and they were just like, "Hey, can you go grab some footage?" So I was like, "Yeah, cool." Ended up meeting Chef Way, and man, this dude was making some definitely dope meals, bro. Like just looking at the way that it was like being created and everything like that, I had never seen anything like that. Only on TV, you know,
Wow.
with like Hell's Kitchen. Shout out Hell's Kitchen.
What
shit
the
like that.
Food Network.
Bro, I love watching Hell's Kitchen sometimes. I'm not gonna lie to you because they'll get into it, bro, and it's just like I'm like, man, who's gonna go home? Who's gonna go home? Who's it gonna be? Is it gonna
I've
be
never
Chad
watched
or is
this,
it gonna
I'm
be
like,
Brad?
Chatter
Let's
Brad.
go.
What the-
Nah, but yeah, man, it was cool seeing it like in person, bro, because that's something that you don't really see every day. You see chefs really just preparing the meal right in front of you, and yeah. It was cool just capturing it, and it was cool meeting him as well because just looking at him, I would have never thought that he would have been a chef.
Yeah.
And actually, he's really popular on TikTok, and he's
Nice.
sharing his creations and how he creates them and stuff like that.
Do you know his TikTok?
Not off the top of my head, but I'll put it right here.
Yeah.
Right,
Right
here.
here.
Right.
Yeah, that way somebody can click on it. Hit the link. Hit the link.
Yeah,
But,
somewhere right here.
and that's so cool too. Honestly, on my end, I feel like it's dope because it's just content that you don't get to create every day, right? Like
Ooh,
it's
that's
not
good,
You
yeah.
don't get to actually go work with the chef and capture like all the art that
In,
that is. That,
in
that-
video,
that
bro,
consists.
I've learned that there's a lot of stuff that is going to be a first.
For sure.
It's going to be a whole bunch of different firsts. Like I remember recording like a
Ba-boom.
bar video for the first time. I was like,
A bar video?
yeah, a bar video.
Wow.
So like a bartender making their drink.
Okay.
And stuff like that.
Is that crazier than the funeral?
The funeral was
I'm not letting that one go.
No, I'm not. That was
I'm not
that was,
letting that one
That
go,
was an
bro.
odd request. I'm not
We
gonna
got
lie.
called to capture a funeral. Yes, you heard that correct.
Yes, a
Capture a
funeral.
funeral.
Yes.
In and out, right? The entire event,
Yeah.
take pictures. They wanted to capture content. And, you know, being honest, we were a little like, I'm sorry, what? Like,
Yeah, I was like, I remember talking with
we
the
even
person
Googled it,
and I
right?
was just like,
Wow.
So is there like anything in particular you want to get? I just didn't know how to approach it because that was something I'd never been asked to capture.
We just didn't want to be disrespectful at all,
and
you know?
especially in
Yeah.
that kind of sense because I know with funerals that's a very touchy kind of thing.
Sensitive,
It's very
yeah.
sensitive. People in the room just are grieving a loved one.
Right.
So it's like I don't want to be in somebody's. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of like in churches whenever they're like worshiping God.
Right.
They're
It's-
in that
it's
moment.
it's such a,
It's such an intimate moment, and they're like, "Hey, here's a camera. Go capture those moments where people are crying and giving their
yes.
life to the Lord." And you're just like,
Yep. Oh yeah.
I worship
Don't-
you.
yeah.
I worship you.
yeah.
He's like-
It's just like, oh man, and that's the way that me and actually Alan we felt. I remember Alan being on the shoot with us.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, we were just like, I don't know. This feels.
Where does the line draw?
Yeah.
Get drawn.
But I also understand like the way they were grateful.
Yeah, very
They were
grateful.
like, hey, we really appreciate like it was one of the memories that we just wanted to hold on to. I
Exactly.
know it doesn't sound like something that's normal or whatever, but they were
Yeah.
just like, this is something we want for our family.
Going into it, it was just like, man, I don't know. But then walking away from it, seeing how grateful they were for the end product and, just the way that everything was captured. And it was really commemorative to the person that they lost.
For sure.
Because it was, even with that funeral, you just seen so many people pull up. And I was just like, yo, like, I never met the guy, but I can tell that he was a great man.
Yeah.
Just based off of, just the way
Everyone
people were
pulling
speaking
up.
about him, how many people pulled up and showed, respect.
So with that being said, and us being able to share a little bit of the recaps of everything that we got to do this year, what's something that stuck out to you the most? What's something that you really feel like you're most proud of? What do y'all think? Keep it short and sweet. What's up?
I'll let you go first, Monica.
Ladies first.
Ladies
I knew it.
first. Ladies first.
One of the things I think that I am proud of, it's gonna be a little mom like. When is it never? No.
Relax.
No, I'm really proud of you guys working hard and like. Again, y'all are go-getters. Y'all are like, nah, let's get it done. Like, in other words, you said it. As you were speaking, you said it without saying it. How he basically spoke it into existence. Y'all didn't have anything planned. There was nothing planned, but he's like, nah, I have faith essentially that we will. And I believe this is the season and this is what we need to do, So I'm proud of y'all for taking that step. Y'all take that step and then y'all were like, come on, join us. And I'm very happy to be here. I've learned a lot. I've learned so much. And I feel like I haven't even hit the tip of the iceberg. Like I'm barely getting started with you guys and I've learned a lot already. And I, again, enjoy and appreciate that you guys continue to pour and pour and pour. Y'all learn, whatever y'all learn, y'all pour, So I'm just proud of us, like taking that step, doing it, and kicking butt at it too,
Alex?
No, I'll let you go first, bro.
Wow. You're like first man first.
You go first.
Age before beauty.
There you go. Right there.
Since you are the elder of the group of
Wow.
us, you are our elder.
Amen.
Amen.
Oh my! How do you agree to that?
I think what sticks out to me is honestly is the growth in us. I feel like as a team we're very resilient, and that goes beyond like the jobs that we've had. Like I feel like every job that we show up to, something's gonna go wrong, and
It's a given.
it's almost like it's just like life, right? What goes up must come down.
Exactly.
And on the moment as a team, we were just like, we made a lot of executive decisions and pull things out. We just pull it off. And people are like, man, how did y'all make that happen? And we're like, we had no other choice but to make it happen, And I feel like that for me is huge. I'm really proud of, we're only 3 years old. You know what I mean? Our company just started. For me, I'm also like, I don't have no shame in saying this, and I never forget it. I'm first generation Mexican-American. My parents come from nothing. And for me, I just feel like putting in the work that we've been putting in it's just like we're starting to see results. We're starting to see things happen, and I'm super grateful for that opportunity that.
Yeah.
The sacrifice my parents made to come to this country, and I'm taking full advantage of it because I'm passing it on to my son, right? And I'm showing him that we're gonna work hard for this, and I want him to, whatever it is that he loves to do in the future, that he just has that same passion, that same ambition, and I think he's gonna enjoy seeing like I saw my father live off of doing what he loves, and that's what I'm gonna raise my son doing. Like I don't care what it is that you love doing.
he can
I
see
need you to live off of doing that because that's the only way you're gonna live being happy.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, I think for me, this besides all the dope opportunities we're given, the travel opportunities as well, it's more of like, dang, we always like you mentioned, we get to grow every single year and doing what we love. That's the thing that I'll always say. Like, I'm not doing something where I'm like, damn, I gotta go. Gotta go to work. I gotta put in PTO. I gotta put in this. Gotta put in that. It's none of that. It's more of like, yo, I get to wake up. I get to conquer the day however I please. If one day I don't feel like, hey, I don't want to edit today, I have the power to do that.
Right.
If there's a day where I'm like, okay, I need to schedule everything out and do all that, I have the power to do that. And I think it's just for me, it's like for this year to grow, and for me, it was just being able to grow and actually start really living out the thing that I always pictured myself doing. I always pictured myself working for myself, and I also always pictured myself like kind of just working at my own kind of pace, if that makes any sense. Because it's like, you know,
Absolutely.
if you work at a job, you're stuck at that job. You got to be
On
at
their
that job
hours.
on their hours. When
For
I
sure.
compare to where like, hey, something pops up, I can go and I can be in a whole nother city still taking care of business.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I mean, for me, I always go back to like that 15-year-old self where it's like, dude, I like this video thing, but I don't know where it's gonna go. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And then for it to see the way it came out, I mean, shit, just even looking at the gear that we got right now is just mind blowing to me, because I remember,
You're like that lady on TikTok. This is nice.
yeah, this is nice.
Oh, no.
This is nice. But yeah, it's like, man, I remember looking at those cameras and being like, dude, I wish I could have that one day.
Yeah.
You know, now being able to be like, yo, I got it. It's
Yeah.
like
Dang.
really dope.
Yeah, for sure. So, I'd like to wrap up with one final question. What's next?
Dang. Who should answer this one first?
Ladies first, right?
Ladies
No,
first.
you guys.
Brr, brr, brr.
Y'all are such gentlemen. Stop.
What's next?
What's
In
next?
any kind of shape or form, more in the sense like, you know, for personal goals, maybe within, you know, the company, what are some what's next for you? What do you feel like you should be on track to accomplishing?
That's a loaded question. What's next? You know what? Honestly, okay, personal, I want to learn a new trade to help us in whatever it is that we're doing, that was to help us get to that next level. What trade? I don't know. I got to find out what I'm good at, what my niche is here in CMP. You know, we already know what I'm good at, but what else can I learn? And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing us jump up that next level already. I don't see why we can't.
So I always tell them, literally what we always talk about, man, which is like, bro, we're almost there. I see ourselves there. What is the way? I have no idea, but I see us there. I was like, I just don't know the path. I don't have the map, but we're going to get there.
Yeah.
That's what
I think for me, it's I always remember John Gray, who's like, he used to pastor at Lakewood, and I think he's like in North Carolina now. He's got his own church or something. But he has this saying that says, I'm sorry, he didn't have a saying. He was preaching, and he shared this saying that says, success is when opportunity and preparation meet.
Ooh,
And to me,
that's so good.
and to me, I've held on to that because I'm like, okay, when am I gonna reach this success that I'm looking for, or like this certain type of like level of work where I'm only focused on this only, that you know what I mean, like where it's full time this, or or wherever that success defines when I get there, right? But I'm like, when I feel like until I get there, I have to keep preparing myself.
Yeah.
And then when that opportunity presents itself, I'm ready. I'm glad that we got the opportunities that we got this year. Being able to shoot like a music video for Charles, going to do a theater at Arena Theater with La Mafia, Eduardo, working with McDonald's. Like, these are opportunities that not a lot of people get to have, and I'm super grateful for them. And I feel like it's like, man, we would not be able to be successful at these events were it not for those little small events that we went to
That's
before
good.
in the past. If it were not for those events where somebody said, hey, come take pictures for my daughter's birthday party, and it's like somebody's backyard with the moonwalk, with the Toro, with the bull ride. You know what I'm talking about, Alex?
Oh,
Because we
yeah.
took pictures of everybody, the family, everybody. We took pictures of everybody. We took
I was
pictures
not
of
a part of the team yet.
No,
That's
this
why
is-
I'm not laughing.
Inside jokes.
This is the first year. This is the first year. We were still learning a lot. That's all it was,
We all start somewhere.
No,
That's where
what-
y'all started.
What happened was, like, it was my first time ever taking pictures. So Alex was like, don't worry, I'm going to take pictures too, but practice taking pictures.
Okay.
So I'm taking pictures. And so Alex was busy somewhere else. And this family comes up to me like, hey, man, my two sisters are here from out of town, and we ain't seen each other in a long time, man. And
Can you take-
man, thank y'all for coming here, but can y'all catch your picture, bro? And make sure y'all. And I was like, of course, man. Now, granted, I had already taken pictures throughout the day. This is already like 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it's like wrapping up the night, yeah.
And they don't have great light out there, right? So it's just like, and it's like dark outside.
Oh my
So
God.
They got trees everywhere. So I'm like, yeah, everybody smile. 1, 2, 3. I took like 10 pictures, right? Man, not one of them.
Oh no!
And I said, hey, Alex, what do you think? Can you make something happen?
Oh my gosh!
No, but Alex is like, nah. Bro.
It was that bad, bro.
You were like, nope. Omar, you messed up.
It was bad, but again, I figured out that was one way of how not to take a picture.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
you
And
learned.
so that's how I've been seeing our business grow. Experience is teaching us a lot.
I was gonna say, what is that? One of the sayings, one of the mottos. There are no mistakes, but rather they're lessons. Yeah.
For sure. And I feel like this year, as a team, individually, we've all gone through like different things in life, and we're learning lessons as we're moving forward, as we're continuing to grow. And also, I want to give a shout out to those of y'all who have been supporting us, whether y'all have just been hitting the like button, whether y'all just watching the stories that we post. We all kind of contribute to that, but we appreciate y'all for supporting us. For those of y'all who share our content, for those of y'all who support us, who are always there with us, thank y'all so much. Thank those of y'all watching the podcast. Appreciate you guys. Those of y'all who recommend us to people, those of you guys who talk about us, who show love, support, who have invested in us financially, we appreciate it. Thank y'all so much. And so with this last episode, we wanted to say, let's be merry.
Let's be merry.
Thank you very much. Happy holidays. And we're going to end it saying, Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad, próspero año y felicidad.
Take it away, Alex.
I want to wish you a Merry Christmas.
That's my cue to
I
walk
want to
away.
wish you a Merry Christmas.
Cut the camera.
I
Cut the
want to
camera.
wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom.
It's okay. I'll hype you up. This is Kelly. Kelly.
You can't tell by the way I'm moving.
What is it like when you're more been kicked around since I was born? Well, it's alright, it's okay, you can look the other way.